Okay, we're going to look at reflections over the x-axis and then again over the y-axis. If you're reflecting over the x-axis, remember this is the x-axis, that means you're taking this graph and flipping it below. This will change the y-coordinates by a factor of -1, so in terms of mapping notation, the x-coordinate stays the same and you multiply the y value by -1. If we take a look at this then, a lot of times it's easy to visualize, so if we're sketching, this is what we're going to be sketching. G of x is equal to -f of x. Okay, so if the negative sign is in front of f of x, that means you are flipping it over the x-axis, or it's the y-coordinates that are multiplied by -1. So this point A right now is at -5 and 2. We're going to be multiplying the y value by -1 rather, and we're going to get -5, -2. So I'm going to plot that point down here. So as you can see, this just flipped. It was 2 above the x-axis, now it's 2 below. I find that often easier than listing each point. If this point stays the same, -4, instead of being +4, you're plotting -4, -4. Keep that distance the same of 3. This was 3 above, now it's 3 below, and again keeping that the same. Okay, then you can connect this like so. You can transfer it over to this graph if you are required to. Okay, so if this is our graph of g of x right here, we can just redraw that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to plot -5, -2, and just continue and have that shape drawn so that it does not change. Okay, so reflection does not change. It changes the orientation of the graph, but it still looks like the same sized shape, so to speak. All right, and again, the y-coordinates change by a factor of -1. Let's take a look at the reflection over the y-axis. Okay, for the y-axis, you would change the x-coordinates and multiply them by -1. So this a value again, which was -5 and 2, is now going to become 5 and 2. So I'm going to just plot that over here right away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2. And I can continue that. So -4 and 4 is going to be +4 and 4. Okay, this is going to be 3 this way, or you can see how that was at -1, now it's at +1. This was at +1, now it's going to be at -1. And same thing, continue just drawing that shape, and you can connect it. Okay, again, the x values were multiplied by -1, and the y values remain the same. And as you can see, the graph has flipped over the y-axis. So that shape, it's this reflected and flipped over.